family, Iridium, hope you're doing all right today. It's album review time. Cap Outrun and High on Deception. Now, I was a bit worried about this one. To say apprehensive, I couldn't be more apprehensive listening to this. I was a bit worried that, I don't know, I wouldn't like it, I suppose. And if you're watching this video, it means I liked it, because I will never really give a negative review on an up-and-coming band, and they are an up-and-coming band. They're on Frontiers, Swedish band, December the 10th. The album's coming out, so I've got this one early. They've had one EP out in 2008, which I also haven't heard. Man, this is an amazing album. And like I said, I was apprehensive. I was worried. I thought that the progressive nature of it would be too much. But man, it's a perfect mix, because what you get is, you get progressive parts, yes. Amazing instrumental parts that just blow your mind, and you think, how do they even do that? But just around the corner, they hit you with such amazing hooks and melodies, and some of the best choruses I've heard than any other melodic rock band. So it's the perfect mix. And I think, I'm not sure if are they tricking me? I don't know if they're tricking me, because their music is so intelligent and so clever in the progressive side. When they hit you with a soaring, amazing chorus, is it even more amazing and soaring because of what you've just heard? If it is, it's just brilliant songwriting. It's just brilliant, because every chorus to me just blew my mind. I was like, wow, what's the next chorus going to sound like? The hooks and melodies, plus the progressive side of this band, have really blown me away. They really have. It's really shocked me. I've written down here some of the catchiest hooks this year, and that's pretty amazing. For fans of, I'd say, Toto, for sure. And Dream Theater, I would say, just because of the amazing musicianship. I mean, I've listened to the Dream Theater album, which I love parts of the Dream Theater album, but it'd be like a song will come on and I like a little section, but I want to get hooked with those melodies. I want it to be really catchy as well. I appreciate Dream Theater and those sort of bands, but I lose interest a little bit when you get like a 9-minute song and I'm yet to hear an amazing chorus or a melody line. You know, they're very clever, don't get me wrong, and I know there's loads of Dream Theater fans out there. I totally understand why they're so popular. But where I'm into the melodic rock and hard rock, I want to hear something really that grips me. It's funny, because on the Frontiers promo that was sent to me, I already knew they were a progressive and melodic rock band. But on the promo that was sent to me by Frontiers, it just said melodic rock. And I thought, well, that's stretching it a bit because of the progressive nature of the band. But I sort of understand, because that's, with the band, I think that's the first and foremost idea, to give you catchy songs. And they really fucking do. So musicianship is just amazing, like I said. Production is just, I love it. It's so sharp. The drum sound, the guitar sound, the bass, and obviously the vocals. The instruments are just right sharp in your ears. So this is what you need, isn't it? There's no point in doing a muddy little mix when you're listening to this sort of music, where it's complex at times. It needs to be so clear, and it is. It's just a brilliant production. So let me run you through the band. Chandler Mogul on the vocals. He's from a band called Out Loud, and I heard a few songs and albums of those when they were about quite a few years ago now. Very good rocking sort of metal band with lots of hooks and melodies. You can see where the melodic side is going to mix up with the progressive side here. You've got Cole Tudon on the drums, ex-Cray drummer, Linus Abrahamson on the bass, Andre Theander on the guitar, and Eric Wiss on the keys. I've mentioned all these guys together because as a unit, as a progressive unit as well, that part of it, I've just got to say I'm blown away by how clever these guys are. And I know I'm not a progressive rock or progressive metal expert. I'm far from it. I really ain't. But what I'm hearing is just like, you just think, how does that even go? And especially, how does that even go well with a huge chorus that's just around the corner? This band, They're really something to look out for, I tell you. I'm blown away. So first track is Crazy Enough.
I wanna be there now and just feel it. Wish I were crazy.
Now, let me tell you, this is funny because I love the first single, the two singles, but as you see from me going through the tracks, there's some songs that just blow them brilliant singles out of the water. I don't know. I can understand them being singles, but the album as a whole gets better and better as it goes on, because the first two singles are the first two songs on the album, and I love them, but man, it gets better than that even. So Crazy Enough, like I said, is first. Them odd time signatures between the melodies, but don't take away the groove from the song. I love it when the vocals open up at the end of the lines in that chorus. He sort of reaches and it just gives you a different feel to his vocals. Great picky guitar melodies throughout. That instrumental part is just so clever. High on Deception is next. This is the first one that I heard. Reacted to this.
Nobody sees the cracks underneath. The whole world is trembling under my feet.
The hooks in this are amazing. The chorus is infectious. Sort of gone back to this more than any other single, you know, that I've heard before an album comes out. If anyone knows me, and I say it quite regular on the channel, if I do a reaction of an album that's not out yet, I won't listen to that song again until the album comes out, and I'll listen to it as a whole. But I think where I'm so intrigued by this band and what their output, I've gone back and listened to that song probably about 6 or 7 times, and it just amazes me. Very Toto feels in this part. The solo is just outstanding over that odd time signature. It's just brilliant. Disaster Mindset is next. This is a ballad, actually, a piano and vocal led ballad for half of the track, then goes into a bit of a mad instrumental part in the second half, leading into somewhat of a basic rhythm for a guitar solo. Maybe the most straightforward track so far. So it's not all about those odd time signatures, you know. They do some straight rhythm a lot through this album. So if you're worried about it being all over the place and progressive all the time, you've got no problem with that at all. The melodic rock band, they really are with progressive elements. In the Shade of the Masquerade is next. Keys and piano playing a big part of this track again. The drumming here from the second verse is just unbelievable. There's plenty of showing off on this track and throughout the album, but the melody is always present, and especially the chorus. That chorus on this is amazing. There's a synth solo, then an even greater guitar solo where the guy shreds the fuck out of that guitar. They really do complement each other, like the synth solo and the guitar solo. Absolutely brilliant. Next up is Shadows on the Wall. This is the longest track on offer on the album, 9 minutes and 14 seconds. Now, it's a brilliant song. After a minute or so with a little jazzy type intro, breaks into a great guitar melody over an odd time signature before we hear the band then break into sort of a basic rhythm. It sounds great, man, with the vocals riding over that clean guitar. It really does. That great guitar melody returns for the bridge, then it opens up into a brilliant, catchy, soaring chorus. That jazzy feel comes back a little for a moment before another amazing shredding solo. Man, these guys are just amazing musicians. A real epic track that seems to have everything crammed into 9 minutes. It just flies by. It really does. Great song. Our Brightest Day is next. Love this. It's a ballad, clean guitar and vocal start. I love the sort of quiet parts the band does. When they diet right down, they just sound great. Slowly other instruments are introduced and we sort of get a feel build is coming. It's sort of slowly coming, building this track. And then unexpectedly we get a piano and cello instrumental section before the track sort of goes back into that brilliant chorus. Love this one. The least progressive song so far, actually, I would say. You know, the least with the least amount of odd time signatures. My Destination is next. My favourite track on the album. The verse makes you think you were getting another ballad, but we're not. We get an odd time signature bridge to the chorus that just explodes out of your speakers. Maybe the most hooky chorus on the album. Amazing. Great songwriting. The way the chorus opens up after the progressive section is just mental. My favourite on the album, the chorus, man. You got to hear this song. My Destination is just fantastic. Run Before We Walk is next. A very smooth, almost 70s feel to this one. The band at their most soulful, I would say. But it comes into yet another amazing, soaring, melodic rock chorus. It's huge. I can't decide though whether the chorus on My Destination or Run Before We Balk is better. They're both absolutely fantastic. As Long As You Believe is next. We have acoustic guitar and vocal start before going into another smooth, soulful feel. It's over a sort of a complex odd time signature that just completely works though. The complexity of the odd time signature just makes the chorus sound massive, and this is what I'm saying. It sort of gives you something that's so sort of brilliant and complicated. But you're right into it, and then all of a sudden the chorus soars and you're like, wow, that is just what a contrast. Brilliant songwriting. And next we have Dopamine Overflow. I think that's how it's pronounced. This is an instrumental actually. It's just a flowing progressive track that sort of has some brilliant, obviously, instrumental sections all the way through. It is an instrumental, but some great guitar work, and everyone just chips in on this one. It's just a sort of, I suppose they had to get this out, this instrumental, but it's not a long song or anything. It's just an instrumental to finish the album off. But man, this is a great album, and probably my most surprising album of the year, where I didn't know whether I would like it, because like I said, I'm not a real progressive rock and metal fan. I like some of it, but if it gets too complicated and it hasn't got the hooks and melodies, I can just leave it behind. And I was a little bit worried about this, but I had no worries at all, man. I am blown away with this album. We're coming towards the end of the year now, so I could definitely say this is going to be in the top albums of the year on my list of many albums. Highly recommended, guys. I really do. If you like progressive rock and you like melodic hard rock or melodic rock, this is a no-brainer. It really is. Thanks for listening. Let me know if you're going to get this album. It's out very soon. December the 10th on Frontiers. I'll see you soon.